So what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the words Nashville, Tennessee? Country music, Gibson guitars, Music City perhaps? Chances are the word bonsai is not something though that you would necessarily associate with Nashville. But with any luck, that's about to change. So one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is, why Nashville, Tennessee? Why did you and your wife decide to relocate from Osaka, Japan to Nashville? Well, when my wife and I were deciding on where to set up our bonsai garden, Eisei-en, we knew we wanted to be in a location that had a good growing climate for the plants. We needed to have good access or easy access for students that are coming from all over the United States and around the world as well. And of course, my wife being from a small town in China of 5 million people, we needed to be near a larger city. So Nashville seemed like the perfect location. So over the last couple of years since we opened Eisei-en, we've been busting our butts to build all the structures here, bring in the trees, design the plants, put everything together. And I think we're finally in a good position now to take the art that we've created here at Eisei-en out into Nashville, Tennessee, and start displaying it amongst the repertoire of other arts that exist in the city, like country music, like the murals around town, like the beautiful aspects of downtown and the natural scenery around the city. So in this episode, that's exactly what we're gonna do. So if you've ever been to Nashville and been kind of in the downtown area, you will have seen a lot of the buskers, or the people who are out there kind of playing music, trying to get their names out there, get their music out there to the public. Well, what I want to do in this vlog is actually go into downtown and do a buskers version of bonsai display. So we're going to kind of do like a guerrilla display around town. And right now it seems to be the perfect opportunity to do it because we're in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. There's almost nobody downtown, which makes it perfect for filming and for photographing. So over the last week or so, myself and my apprentice Cameron, we've been preparing a lot of the trees, the top quality trees here at Eisei-en, for exhibition essentially. So we've been cleaning them up, prepping them, rewiring them, putting moss on the soil, cleaning the pots, getting stands ready, getting ideas ready for taking the trees out into different aspects or different areas of Nashville to display them, photograph them, and video them as well for the vlog. So my goal in this is, again, to try to bring bonsai to the larger repertoire of arts in Nashville, and hopefully we'll get this noticed by the larger Nashville art scene as well. So without further ado, let's get started on this guerrilla style display. Okay, before we head out into Nashville to film, I want to do some test shots here around the property at Eisei-en. We've got 10 acres here with a lot of wooded areas and kind of nifty little outcroppings and nooks across the property. So I think it's going to be interesting to film some of the trees in this area. And I've actually picked up some colored flares here. These are going to allow us to billow some interesting colored smoke around the trees. I think it's going to give it a really interesting look. And we're going to be using the DJI Ronin S here, which is a gimbal, and that'll allow me to get some really smooth shots of the trees as well. So let's jump into it. Okay, come on. So I think that turned out actually kind of interesting. A lot of the photos actually turned out really nice, and at the very end of this vlog, I'll show you some of the best shots from the day and from the upcoming days as we go around Nashville. Now, the next step here, as the sun is starting to set, we've got to load up the van with a bunch of trees because bright and early tomorrow morning, we're going to head out into Nashville and start photographing around town. So let's get on it. Okay, so the first place we're going to stop today is the Parthenon, which you can see right behind me here. This was actually built in 1897 for the Tennessee Centennial Celebration. So it's actually a life-size, full-size replica of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, which is kind of cool. It's a little bit weird to see it in Nashville, but I thought this would be kind of a cool place to bring a couple of trees and display them amongst the grounds here and in front of the pillars as well. So let's set it up and see what it looks like. Okay, so the next place we're coming to shoot is on Printer's Alley, which is a road here in downtown Nashville that's famous for its bars and honky-tonks. You can come down here and listen to local country music, local artists set up and play in a lot of these bars. So I thought what would be interesting down here is to actually bring one of my own guitars. It's a Gibson guitar, which is in fact made in Nashville, Tennessee. And I thought it'd be cool to display that with the bonsai on Printer's Alley. So we'll see how this theme turns out, but let's try it out.
I've been running so long.
So in addition to my Gibson, I also brought out my Ibanez Art Core here. This is the closest thing to a Gibson 335 that I can personally afford, but this is like 1/10 of the cost of that guitar, but it looks pretty cool. So we're gonna set up in another location here on Printer's Alley with a different tree and see what it looks like. That's the back of the tree. Perfect.
I can't run, I can't hide. I can't stay in no more. No. I can't run, I can't hide. I can't stay in no more. Oh no. 'Cause when the devil's out to get you, you better pray and run slow.
So just a little background here. When I was a kid, I used to play in a band in Knoxville, Tennessee. We were a rock band. We'd travel around to the different local bars and whatnot and play gigs mostly for our friends and family. But at the time I was playing an Epiphone, and I really always wanted to have a true Gibson guitar, but at the time I couldn't afford it. So when I moved to Nashville, I figured it was time to upgrade to a true Gibson guitar, and I really wanted a Les Paul. So I searched all around the city and I found this beautiful guitar right here that we're using in the photo shoot. So it's got the P90 pickups in it, which is exactly what I wanted. Maybe I'll play you guys a little bit later in this vlog, but we'll see. Okay, so the final place we're going to film today is actually at the Hermitage, which is Andrew Jackson's home. Now, unfortunately, we can't actually get into the property, but we're on the outskirts of the grounds right now, and there's some really beautiful scenery here. I thought it'd be really cool to bring out some of our trees that are in full fall color to do some photo shoots here. So let's jump into it.
Engineer, where are you headed? Carry me back to Tennessee. Oh, I got a little girl who's been waiting. Promised that she'd marry me. Mr. Can we leave this seat? I'll shovel coal, Lord, to pay my fare. Gotta get this train down to the station. My little girl waiting for me. Well, the night is dark and Lord, it's cloudy. I've been traveling that lonesome road. My one true.
All right, I don't know about you guys, but I think that actually turned out really good. It was better in real life than I had kind of planned out in my head. So I'm really excited about how all of that turned out. So one thing I mentioned earlier that I was trying to do with this project was introduce bonsai into the larger art community here in Nashville. So of course we put together this video for YouTube, but in addition to that, I took a lot of photographs and edited those. And for this outro montage, I thought it'd be cool to show you my favorite shots from the day. I also mentioned that I might play you something on guitar at the end of this vlog, but I thought of something better than that. What I'm gonna do is underneath this outro montage here, I'm gonna play a song that I wrote and recorded when I was back in my university days. But fair warning here, it's about to get very loud and very heavy.